All right, this is Denisha from Images of Ink, and I'm back with another episode for Teacher Tuesday. In this episode, we're going to do a knockout method. We're going to do it twice. We're going to do it once in Affinity Designer, and then we're going to switch over to Silhouette. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is go and grab your text tool. We're going to write out the word Spartans. All right. Let me go ahead and change my font. I am going to use the freshman font, and let's make this black. I am on a 20 by 20 canvas. All right, so let's shrink this down to 12 by 2.5. All right, so the first thing we want to do here in Affinity is we want to convert our text to a curve. Okay, so I'm going to right click. We are going to convert to curves. As you see over here in the top left corner, it's going to give me a group. So all of these letters are individual. I'm going to grab that group, or you can select all. And then up here at the top with the Boolean effects, we're going to hit add. That's going to turn it into one solid word. Next, we're going to come over here to our color, and we're going to select our stroke. So I'm going to bring the stroke to the front. Let's go ahead and make this red. And let's drag up our stroke to how thick we want it to be. And let's just go, let's say 22. That's fine. All right, so now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and duplicate this. So let's right click over here in the layers panel and let's hit duplicate. Okay. So on our first one, we're going to go ahead and take the stroke off. So if I slide this out, you can see we just have the black text. On the second one, we are going to expand the stroke. What the expand is going to do is separate the stroke from the text. So let's go up here to layers and let's go to expand stroke. And just FYI, I am working in Affinity 2.0. So now I have three layers. I have my first text, my second text, and my stroke. Okay, so let's undo that, bring it all back. We're going to grab one of the text layers, hold down Control, and grab the stroke layer, and we're going to add those together. So now we just have the text and then the full stroke. Okay. All right. So now to do the knockout, what we would normally do is duplicate our text first. So let's duplicate that. Because whenever you use your Boolean effects, such as subtract or weld or things like that, it's going to combine those together. So I'm going to turn off the top layer. If I grab my text and my outline and I hit subtract, it's going to knock that out. So now you can see the white behind. This is the reason I had to make a copy of the text because now the text is gone and all I have is the knockout. But when I turn this one back on, I now have my text. Okay. All right. But let me show you a little trick that I like to do to make sure when I go to line up my two layers of vinyl with the knockout, I don't have any of my garment showing through. So I'm going to grab this text. Let me make it a brighter color. And then I'm going to add a small stroke. Let's just go royal blue. So you can see here, I want my stroke to go to the outside. And if I bring down the transparency, you can see that the blue is overlapping into the red. So let's just make it go point 0.1. It looks like there's a lot right there, but it's really not. So you can go point 0.1, maybe point 0.2 max. Okay. So I still get the shape of my letters, but now I have this blue outline and this yellow text. I'm going to grab this one again, go to layers and expand it. So again, it's going to break apart the yellow from the blue, but I want to grab the yellow and the blue and I'm going to add those back together. So now I have a single color, but now when you look, if I turn this to black and I bring down the transparency, you can see that the black is slightly overlapping the red. So when I go to line up this black vinyl on top of this red vinyl, even though it's a knockout, it's going to overlap slightly. So when I put down that red layer first and there's a little bit of shrinkage, I'm not going to be able to see the garment, or it's going to line up a lot easier without me having to adjust my vinyl a lot. Okay, does that make sense? And that is how you do the knockout method number one. And then that's my little trick with the overlap of how to make sure your vinyl lines up perfectly when you go to press it. All right. So let's jump over to silhouette and we're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to start with my text. We're going to do, this time, let's just do south, right? I'm going to pick another nice bold font. Let's go with, this is American Captain. All right, let's give this some color. All right, so here, now in silhouette, we're gonna grab our text. We're gonna go ahead and go to our offset panel. And let's go ahead and add an offset to this. So we're going to make it as thick as we want. Let's just do 0.2. Go ahead and hit apply. And then we are going to go to the modify panel, hit make so it's all one piece. Now I'm going to grab, oh, let's make that a color. Let's go with, let's just go with light blue, right? Now, again, so normally you would grab your blue layer, grab your black layer, and then when you hit subtract, it's going to do the same thing. But we need to make sure before we do that, right click, copy, right click, sorry, right click, copy, right click, paste in front. So now I'm going to grab one of my black layers and the blue layer, and then I'm going to hit subtract. So now I have my text and I also have my knockout. Okay. So again, let's go ahead and undo that. That's how you would do a normal knockout. But for me, remember, I want to overlap it just a little. So I am going to grab my black text. I'm going to add another offset, but this time I only want it to be point 0 or 0.02. Okay. And this number you're going to have to play with just so you can make sure you have enough to overlap. Go ahead and hit apply, go to the modify panel, hit make, so that way you can make it all one piece. Let's go ahead and make this yellow so it stands out, even though you can barely see, but you can see this is a little bit wider than the black. Now I'm going to grab my blue layer, hold down shift, grab my black layer, and I'm going to subtract. Okay. Now the black layer is gone, but when I move the yellow layer away, you have that knockout. But you have a knockout. Let me go to my color panel. Let me bring this transparency down. And you can see that the yellow is overlapping slightly onto the blue. So when I go to press my vinyls, either I can put the blue vinyl down first and then the yellow is going to overlap on the top, or I can put the yellow down first and trap it down below the blue because it's going to overlap a little bit. Either way will work. For certain vinyls, you will need to put a certain one down first. So, for instance, if you're going to do a hologram vinyl, you're going to want to put that one down second so that way you can trap it depending on if it's the first layer or the second layer. But you will have to decide based on the different types of vinyl that you're going to use. But that is how you do. Let me zoom out of here. That is how you do the knockout method using Affinity Designer and Silhouette with my little trick that I do to trap my vinyl to make sure that there is no garment showing and they line up perfectly when I go to put them on my garment. If you have any other questions, drop them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to come back and answer them for you. Also, make sure that you hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and we'll see you in the next episode of Teach It Tuesday.